Yes. Good afternoon, students. Last week, we discussed what research ethics is all about. We started by looking at what is research, types of research, and then picked up some components of research ethics, like norms, values, and norms, values, and then what is research ethics generally. Then we also looked at principles underpinning research. Today, we are looking at research misconduct. In research misconduct, we want to look at what actually constitutes research misconduct. Research misconduct is defined as the act of fabrication, falsification, or plagiarism while proposing, performing, or reviewing research, or in reporting research results. Act of what? Fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, while proposing, performing, or reviewing research. When we are proposed to research, maybe you want to carry out some analysis, you collect some data, you begin to do falsification or fabrication. Or then while performing, you will start seeing that the result may not give you what you want. You start manipulating it. Or even if you are reviewing people's work, reviewing research. You know, when somebody writes and submit to you, international journal, like at least I have 2 international journals and a reviewer. They will remove the name and the institution where it comes from and forward it to you. You have to review it and send it back. So while reviewing, there are some ethical issues involved. Or in reporting research, when you finished writing a report, carrying out research, we expected to report the research. In so doing, you have to, in so doing, there are some principles that will guide your actions. When you are writing a report, you don't need to become maybe trying to tailor it to what you want it to be. You have to tailor it to be factual. You have to be objective, not subjective. You should not introduce personal bias. So if you are even working, let me say maybe gender diversity or gender something, and we're a woman, you start becoming sentimental to make it no. Write what the research is actually talking about. So that is all what is required of you. Then research misconduct. We have mentioned the 3 components of it. That is fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. Then, but we have to be, one thing is clear. Research misconduct do not include honest error or differences of opinion. Honest error, that somebody made a mistake or that you did not, you omitted something unintentionally. That is, when you did not do it intentionally, then it's not a misconduct. That's why what is made by honest error or differences in opinion. If somebody says this is the opinion and this is where it should be, then you now start differing by stating your own opinion. That is not a misconduct. Are you getting the point? If somebody found out that maybe external debt about economic growth, then my own, I decide in my research, I found out that external debt I do not agree with him. That is not a misconduct. It's just difference of opinion. Yeah. And if you are, even if it does not have to, even out of research, if it is your own impression, maybe if you say, this is this, if somebody is saying that Let me just use simple things. Maybe Kobe University is a good school. Listen, no, to me, it's not a good one. It's opinion. Are you getting the point? So it's not that that doesn't mean that it's a misconduct. So it's just opinion. It's just subject to his own opinion. So, but when you are doing a research, doing analysis, doing a lot of things, and you refuse to, you start manipulating it to give it, maybe to align with your opinion. Maybe when you interview students, interview the lecturers, and this to arrive at using certain parameters, you start changing the result so that you agree with the point that it's a good school or that it's not a good school. That is a misconduct. Are you getting it? Because we are deceiving people. In a research, if you are dealing maybe with a Nigerian economy now, the policymakers is expected that the policymakers are going to use it for policy. Like they may decide to borrow more because we say that borrowing is a healthy. So the government may decide to borrow more. So by implication, you may be misleading them. Are you getting it? So it is expected that you say what actually the research result produce so that users will not be misled. Okay. Now, the next thing you should focus more is to understand what fabrication is all about. Fabrication involves making up data or results and reporting them. Making up data or results and reporting. What does that mean? We are talking about making up of data. You are talking about maybe bringing into existence something that have not been. Maybe, let me say you are collecting data from a company or maybe Nigerian banks from 2012 to 2023. Maybe somebody you were able to collect up to 2020. You start fixing figures to make up the remaining 2 years. That is a fabrication. Those figures didn't exist. Are you getting it? So you have just, producing something that is different, and it is misleading because the result will not be a true reflection of what is on ground. Then falsification is what? Manipulation of research material, equipment, process. Manipulation of research material, equipment, research process, or changing or omitting data or results, such that research does not accurately represent what it is supposed to be. Manipulation of research material. You can manipulate the data. You can manipulate the research process. Maybe at each stage in the analysis, you may start, in fact, you may find out maybe a negative result. You now clean it up and put a positive, that is a positive sign. Then you can, if you see maybe a range of data, 250, 300, 320, you may say that, okay, let me make this one up to 270. Or you may even intentionally try to omit one of them so that this thing is becoming progressive. Let me bring it down a bit, that every year he's making a profit of 2 million, 25 million, 30 million. Let me now claim that I didn't make, that he did not make such money. So when we are omit certain things intentionally because it will give a certain information which you may not like. You decide to even omit that you did not even see something when you actually saw it. These are the things that constitute falsification. Falsification is what? You are manipulating, just trying to cause things that's supposed to be real, not longer to be the real picture of what is supposed to be, is what we are presenting. So, by an extent, falsification seems that something is in existence, but we are now mutilating it. Mutilating it. If I maybe use razor on your face now, your face is there, but it's no longer reflecting what it should be. That's why I said it's like using the word mutilation. While in fabrication, maybe I will go and carry artificial face and wear, so it's no longer your face. That is when we are talking about what? Fabrication. Maybe we go and buy artificial face and wear, give to the person. It's now we have fabricated a different thing. But in falsification, the face is there, you are mutilating it. That's why you said that's the worst way to understand it. The difference between falsification and fabrication. Then we look at plagiarism. In plagiarism, when you use another person's stroke institutions or organizations, idea, process, result, or words without giving appropriate credit to the author. Person's institution or organization, the idea, the process, and result or words without giving credit to the person. What are you doing here? You are plagiarizing. You didn't give the credit. So if I now say like the act of borrowing creates debt, and I stop. This statement has been made almost about 20, 30 years ago. And I now did not say by so person, according to so person. I get it. I'm claiming that I'm the one who did it for the first time. What it means that I did not give credit to the person who made the statement. And then that is a plagiarism. If in the course of maybe research, that's where we in the process of research, that's where we do maybe modern specification for those in economics and mute yourself, or I will move you. So in terms of what as I was saying, the result of research process, that's where we do model specification. If you use another person's model and you now modify it, you're supposed to say adapted from. If you see a diagram, that you should do like what? You cannot say adapted from. Maybe if they're using some other, we are trying to add one or two variables. You are expected to please mute yourself. Adejo Albert. So when such things happens, we are expected to give credence to the person. You see some people will just go and bring out a whole page and remove the name. They will start doing some element of this changing of words, keywords, and the paraphrasing. And then they will now claim that is now the original work. These are all plagiarism. That is what is killing even creativity in Nigeria, including this the research work, even these musicians, even textbooks. Before you finish it, the people have pirated it and they're selling it at a very cheaper price than our production cost. Once you give them to sell, they will sell 10 copies. I give to you. And you bring another 10, they will tell you nobody's buying, but they're already selling their own. So that is what is killing creative efforts. So plagiarism is a research misconduct. You are supposed to, when you use somebody's idea, so if it is not your original idea, say it is from this source, you have to acknowledge the source by having what we call both in-text citation and full referencing. For those who want to verify it, get more information about it, from your full reference, the person can now get the material and go through it. So that is plagiarism for you. Then in research misconduct, there should be some cases. Let me give you an example. More examples of research misconduct. So if I now said, saw a work published by Uday and was interested in that, and decide to do a similar study. Then, while he was conducting his research, he never acknowledged, or he just borrowed many ideas from them, but never acknowledged that the work that he saw with this work. Equally, he was able to change some figures, the data he collected, to reflect what, so that the result will reflect what he wants. What type or types of research misconduct has been involved? So one may just give you a little bit of life scenario. One may give you a little bit of life scenario and decide to ask you from here, describe the research misconduct this person is involved. And then you expected maybe, like now, you have mentioned the two. So the answer would be for the two, and maybe possibly to describe the two. And that becomes maybe 10 marks or 5 marks. So you should be ready for, when you are reading, you read in between the line to understand the technical things that person is committing. Then, most of the time, the question is, why do people get involved in research misconduct? One, individual factor. Individual factor. Like what? Incompetence, lack of knowledge, and carelessness. Individual factor, incompetent. You are maybe a lecturer, you don't have to write publications, something like that. You now see some people's work, or you now start cutting the head and try to panel beat it to claim that you are published. That's a sort of incompetence. Are you getting it? Then, our lack of knowledge, you don't know how that skill. Then, sometimes, under pressure, because we wanted to publish, because maybe there's promotion coming out next week. So, like I said, we should have 3 publications or so, and we only have 2. So you may just, out of carelessness or so, decide to, that's pressure. Then you have situational factors like work load, time, pressure to publish. Situational factor. The other one is an individual, where the person lacks the competence, or don't have the knowledge, or is careless. He will tell you it doesn't matter. Bring it, and nobody cares. At long run, like if I mention one lecturer from UNEC, he just cut the work, cleaned it, and put it his textbook. And when they came for accreditation, the department was very proud to present that book as a very nice publication in the Ray area. Then one of the people who came for accreditation was going through it and saw a chapter of work he published. And he complained that this topic is what he have written and published, and is his work, and it was not acknowledged in any form. The lecturer tried to bluff. The prof is a known person in the school. Then the person brought it up to the UVC, and went home and wrote a formal report to the university. And they now went for investigation. And it was found that his publication came earlier before this man's own work. And the man was sacked from UNEC here. So he was sacked, because that is, if if he have even acknowledged it that time and start pleading with the man, he may not have brought it up at the university level, and maybe he'd be cautioned. But he was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until it matters. So what I'm trying to say that it is a serious situation. Although even to some area, it's even now have some legal backing, like all this copyright of a thing, have some legal implication. So now let us look at another one. Situational factors are work overload. Situational factors are work overload. Then pressure to publish. Pressure to publish. Here you have what we call publish or perish syndrome in the university. You'll be jumping up in the class, trying to be the best lecturer, but you don't have any work. So during promotion, they will not promote you. That you don't have publication, you don't have this. Maybe that's why the students will be saying this. After they do not promote this very good, nice lecturer that is very intelligent, this and that. What the university is looking at your research output. You know, university is made up of 3 components: teaching, research, and community service. So teaching is part of it. Research is another part of it, and community service. That's why if you're a chairman or president general of that union, it will count for you during your promotion. You will not become just this thing. So when you lack that of research output, students will be seeing you teaching very well and all those things. And then most of the time, everybody is teaching. So most of some schools use even number of years just to count. How many years have you taught? They will give you full mark. So if you're not teaching well, you're supposed to be sacked. So if they said they cannot accept the number of years you teach, then it means the school is not even doing well equally, because they should have monitored you and saw that you are not doing the primary thing. So they will always look down on maybe teaching, because we have stayed for 3 years and nobody have reported we have no issues with teaching.
Yes, someone is saying.
We have research output, nothing. So it's no promotion. So publish or perish syndrome. That is a pressure that will make some people to start trying to manipulate people's work to look like original work and publish it on their own. Then we have structural factors like what? Poverty, poor education system, and the what? Systemic issues. That's poor education system. This one is almost linked to what? Of knowledge, or the system you are in does not encourage hard work. Like in Nigeria now, when you are asked to publish, when you are asked to do this, you are using your salary to go and research. But that's maybe not like non-teaching staff. We collect their salary and be feeding their family. They expect you to go and pay the telescopes. The one we published these days was $1,000. $1,000 multiplied by 1,005 or so. So if we, after multiplying it, all of us were asked to pay 400 or something, and we're up to six to pay for it. If it is one person, tell me what is your salary to publish on them. So, and the Scopus is that's your journal, maybe what you want for your promotion. So, all these things, that is where I will talk of structural factor for education system. They may set a standard, but they are not giving you the conducive atmosphere to meet up with the standard. In a good institution, they will even pay for it. After writing it, they will just pay for it. That's the True Tech Fund or something like that. But
are you going to acknowledge people as part of
No. If they do not support you, you will not acknowledge them. But if you that funds for your research, you now acknowledge me to acknowledge them. So then another one is cultural factors. Cultural. Different environment have different cultural background. What is unethical in Nigeria may not be unethical in the UK. So cultural difference is another item that can bring about I remember one nurse who went to UK. He's a man, and he now in an old people's home, he was helping, and after a while, tell one old woman, "Let me take you to bed." It was it's around 7, 8. He was like, "Let me take you to bed. It's okay. Let me take you to bed." The woman started shouting, "Taking me to bed at this age? Do you want to kill me? Do you want to kill me?" That one is the grammar. In our own context, he was trying to assist the woman to go to bed and sleep. But the woman is looking at it from another angle. Then, immediately they came to arrest the guy. And then what saved him was that he had not done orientation. He was fixed from that place to an orientation course. Otherwise, he would have been deported from there for embarrassing the patient and the client. So what I'm saying that if you tell somebody, "Let me take you to bed here," it doesn't matter. He just tell you, okay. He doesn't care. That is not a bad language on our own side. I'm getting the pen. You understand that we are trying to assist. But in the other place, he says, "Okay, let me put it here. When I'm relating with some of my friends from the Middle Belt, I told them, please, what I say, if you don't understand, please ask me, because of cultural differences. Like one language, if I call you Oga, do you know that Oga is something making you respecting you? But in Igara, it is the name of a disease. You are not forcing him to have the disease and you take also, that's one thing. So certain things are not. So language difference may be that one thing. Another cultural issues. I muted him. So let's move. So let's move. Up to 22 participants. So let's move. Now let's move. That is about cultural differences. We have talked about language from language side. There are some other small things that is cultural, and then which, like in our own side, we like pork. In the Middle Belt, pork is an abomination, maybe due to religion or something like that. So we need to take note of all those things. So if you are in the health, you may be telling somebody, take protein, and down there's a lot of pork here, eat. When you say that in the north, you are already not making any sense. So these are the things, some cultural differences or due to religious or anything, you have to take note of that. For those online, if this goes off, you have 1 minute, it remains 10 minutes, you will log in because this is a 40 minutes program. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now let's move.
Sir. It's okay, sir.
Mechanism for addressing research misconduct. Mechanism for addressing research misconduct. How do you address research misconduct? Like now, if you suspect that someone has committed a research misconduct, do you just say and start prosecuting him or start conclude that, in law, even if you see somebody killing somebody, he's just been suspected the murderer until the court confirms him. Are you getting me? The same thing, there's a mechanism for research misconduct. So if you have a suspect that somebody has committed research misconduct, there are certain things you look at. So, but before we go to the more detailed about this thing, we have to look at some other things. Like now, if you look at somebody, if you suspect that somebody has committed such misconduct, the first thing to do is what? Inquiry. There'll be an inquiry.
Sorry, ma'am.
What is inquiry?
Yes, ma'am.
We are trying to gather many evidence as possible. As many evidence as possible as to prove that that person has committed, is most likely to have committed the offense. That is an inquiry. Are you getting it? If it is now likely that you have committed the offense, then you now launch what we call the second phase, investigation. A detailed. If I claim, if I publish a work and it's suspected to be plagiarized, the first thing is, did you publish any work? What was the title of the work? The same thing that was contained in, okay, it's an, you have now seen that there's a publication, and then the other guy is claiming to have published similar things, so there's likelihood of plagiarism. That is an inquiry. Then investigation, you can now say one or two persons go and read two of them in details. Inquire who published first, and to what extent did you reference him or not, if the person published first. So you are now making a detailed analysis of the situation for you to either agree or disagree. That is that process of investigation. So you are trying to be convinced. And that's the basis of which there will be judgment. So you now go for what? Adjudication. The third one is adjudication. The third one is adjudication. Adjudication. Inquiry, investigation, and what?
Adjudication, okay.
ADGUDICATION. Adjudication. You are now trying to analyze the situation by a court process. And then the person may be found guilty or not guilty. Are you getting it? Then when the person is found guilty, there's a different thing. There's the process of what? How do you display such person? So we have in research misconduct, the three steps to confirmation of research misconduct is what? Inquiry, investigation, and adjudication. Yeah? That is when you'll be doing adjudication, it will require some testimonies. That is where the supporting documents and then people who are witnesses can come. If you are maybe a forensic expert, you will be called up as maybe forensic accountant. You come up to defend your case. If you are one of those people who are panel of investigation, you come up and present your report. And then in doing that, there's what we say that you have to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you getting it?
Yes.
You have to. What do you mean by that? You are trying to say that it is most alleged that the thing have occurred. Reasonable doubt that the most likelihood of being guilty or right of that thing is there. The probable of it happening is already there. Is more than the probability of not happening. So it's above reasonable doubt. Then, when you... So, adjudication phase recommend, there will be recommendation of what? Where you can receive what? Some sanctions. Yes, some sanctions can be applied. Like now, the court can say, even if it is internally, you can be, if the school find me something, they can set up inquiry, even if it is not court. And if I find guilty, they may say, okay, let me be what? The sanctions can be one. Appropriate steps to be correct include one, maybe tell me to take appropriate steps to correct the anomaly if it's something that I can just correct. maybe they may tell me to go to the press and publish and disclaim that this work is not my original work. That is the appropriate step can be taken. And that one is what? Letter of reprimand. They can give me a letter of reprimand. Maybe stop doing this. That's so that you be on record that you have been caught once, but maybe that's a pardon. You know, in civil service, if they get you wrong, they may transfer you. Depending if it is serious, they may now maybe step you that one step. If it is serious, they may say let them put you on one grade level down. It is before they sack you, it will be the last option because they believe you are not working alone. You have your children and dependent relatives. So that will be the last option. Because letter of reprimand. Then another one is an imposition of certification requiring to ensure compliance with the terms of the grant. If you are writing a grant, they can write up something that you have to undertake, that you must comply with the terms of the grant. And that thing that can follow that was suspension of the grant. If somebody gave you money to imposition of certification requirement to ensure compliance with the terms of the grant. In that case, you are now being forced to comply with what the people who is sponsoring you, the terms of agreement, so that you have to deliver. Then we say suspension or termination of the grant. If I'm doing sponsoring you and I have seen that you are not doing a good job, you are just collecting other people and claiming you are, like some of you who will claim to be doing survey research. As your children is cooking, you abuse the cooking figure. Agree, they strongly agree. Yet this one agree, this one agree. So they will know when they notice such a thing that you are not actually carrying out the research, they may suspend it.
So all these things happen during
no, we are talking about when found guilty, sanctions. Sanctions. Sanctions can be given. It's accessed from what? Appropriate step to correct it, reprimanding, suspension of the work, and then another one is what? Personal suspension stroke debarment. They debar the person. That is, you know, if somebody is working for you, like now, if I commit such thing here, the government is just like sacking.